This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place to tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.
Knicks family, what's popping, ladies and gentlemen. The Knicks took game 3 over the Indiana Pacers. And yes, sir, man. You know, we needed it. We was winning this game. When we got down 20, I was scared to death. I'm not gonna lie. But I also thought to myself, maybe we need to get down 20 just to win.
That's a shame.
I ain't gonna front though. I was scared to death. Like, come on, man. You know, but when we cut it to 13, I was like, okay, we cut it to 13. We just got to keep chipping. And we got to give it up to Tibbs. I don't care what people say. You got to give it up to Tibbs. And P. Ramos. I'm glad you brought it up. So Sim, last game you were wilding about the suggestion of playing our bench. You know what? In the first half, I was like, we played the bench. We got down by 20. Look what happened. In the second half, that bench helped to bring us back. Shamit, obviously, Campaign didn't play. But Shamit and Wright, you know what I'm saying? They put in work. They put in some work to help us get back. I ain't even mad. No qualms about it. They put in work to help us get back. You know what I mean? Hopefully, and you look at the score, 102 to 100. This is the type of score that the game. This is the type of score that the games have got to be for the Knicks. You know what I'm saying? This works for the Knicks. You know, it works for the Knicks. Works for the Knicks. 360. You said, Sim, your last video, you were saying the bench is trash. I still don't believe we have a great bench, but they helped out tonight. 106, 100, whatever the score was, something like that. 106, 100. You know, they helped out tonight. Helped us get that win tonight. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I have no qualms in saying, obviously, I was wrong because the bench helped us. In the second half, I was wrong. You know what I'm saying? A lot to talk about, though. A lot to talk about, Tony. You know what I'm saying? Let's get in it. Let's talk about
I missed the first half. Salute some shout out to the chat, Your Blackest Time. I missed the first half. I got to watch like a little bit of the end of the second quarter. And then you know, I drove home and got home for halftime. So I saw the whole halftime, you know, from halftime on. But I was discouraged, you know at that point from the little bit I seen. I didn't get to see the start of the game, so I do have some questions on what did that look like. What he did make the adjustment. He started Mitch.
He started Mitch.
Okay, so I didn't actually see how that looked to start the game. So I got questions on that from you. I know that was something I was calling for, but yeah, I mean, foul trouble. Salute to not just the bench, but I mean, yeah, really the bench. The bench been holding us down for a minute. I guess the stats say since January. You know, our starting five has actually been in the minus of plus minus, and that has included that continued in the playoffs. So, yeah, I don't know how that is when our bench is so subpar. But obviously, you know what I mean? The extra utilization tonight helped. The good thing about, or the thing you could point out about the guys he did play, they're defensive guys. You know what I mean? Like, so, I mean, even Shamit, you know, he ain't a plus defender, but he's a gritty defender. Yeah, I mean he hustles, he fights. So I mean, there's that to say. I just hate the fact that Tibbs, and I said this at the end of last year, and it was a concern of mine going into this year. Even though I still support Tibbs, he always waits to its desperation to kind of make these adjustments and these changes.
So the only thing I would say, as far as the starting lineup, right, making the changes. In the first game, we were up 17. We were up 14 with 2 minutes and 30 seconds left. We should have won that basketball game with the lineups the way that they were,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it would make sense that you go into the next game and say, you know, I'm gonna stick with what it was because we had that game in the bag and we let it go. You know what I'm saying? And then it didn't work in game two. So then he made the adjustment for this game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because I think for myself, if I was up 17, if I was up 14 with 2 minutes and 30 seconds left, I would have said, yeah, what we did worked. We just didn't finish.
That's 100% fair, and I give him credit for doing it now and not, you know what I mean, when it's really, you know what I mean, in a worse situation potentially. So I'm giving him the credit for it, but it's also something that I've acknowledged. You know what I mean? Even though I support Tibbs, it's something that I've been on record saying out loud. But that's a fair point as to when to do it. You know, when you look, you know what I mean, when you feel like you could have won or you should have won the game, and you know you give it another try, third time you change it. I get that. That's fair critique. I'm not getting on him for it. It's just an observation. You know what I mean? I feel like he's done that a lot, and I acknowledge it because I understand. Like he don't like to take guys that earned their way into his circle out. You know what I mean? Like so, I've been on record saying that too. It takes a lot to get in, and he gives you every opportunity before he, you know what I mean. And obviously, Josh Hart is still going to be part of the rotation in that sense, but I'm just, you know what I mean? It's just things that I
I don't
observed.
know how I mean, from the beginning of the game, I guess we did jump out to an 11-6 lead. But it began, we jumped out to an 11-6 lead. I think you've got to maximize you got to figure out the length of time to actually keep that group in there,
Mhm.
right? Because there came a point where the Pacers started to run. It was 11-6. Next thing you know, it was 16-15 Pacers, where they started to be able to get out and get up and down the floor with that double big lineup in. You know what I mean? And then, Tibbs started to make changes in the first half. He used Wright, he used Shamit. So really, when you think about it, the only other addition is Shamit because he took Campaign out the lineup
Mhm.
altogether, right? So the only other addition to the rotation is Shamit. I mean, Wright is an
Right.
addition to the
I
rotation.
know, but you're saying because he's played already.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is he really only added one person.
I got you.
You know what I'm saying? Instead of, it's not like
Instead of
nine.
+2, it's a +1.
Yeah, exactly. It's a +1. You know what I'm saying? And tonight, Shamit played 11 minutes and 23 seconds. Wright played 13 minutes and 20 seconds.
And to be honest, like that's kind of like all I was asking for when I mentioned play other guys. You know what I mean? Like because I know Queen's like, well, how many minutes they gonna play? You know what I mean? But I think those are sufficient if they're efficient. You know what I mean?
I mean, offensively, they're not going to give you that much. Defensively, they definitely helped. In the first half, it was shaky. I mean, that's why the Knicks went down. I'm not blaming the bench, but the Knicks went down 20, right? We'll see if, let's put it like this, when you add new pieces, you got to figure out how to play with those pieces, right? So that could have been why the first half was like that. You got to figure out how do we play with these new pieces now
Yeah, I think they had 13 different different lineups in the first half.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I'm gonna put you on solo for a second.
All right,
Yeah.
that's but again, that's an adjustment within itself for Tibbs. That again, it took him a long time to do that. I can't recall him having 13 different lineups in a game, a full game, let alone in a half of a game. So again, shout out to him for making these adjustments and figuring out, when and why, whether it's foul trouble, because there was a lot of foul trouble tonight, right? Cat, Brunson, Hart, I think, Deuce in the first half. I was listening to the game in the first half, and I'm like, yo, I didn't hear Deuce's name at all. At all. Like, where is he sick? I called Queen at halftime. She's like, nah, he was in foul trouble. Shout out to him in the second half though, because he had his imprint on this game. And I think defense is as crazy as it is. Those non-Brunson minutes, you know what I mean? we the defense is carrying us, you know what I mean? And we're finding ways for other guys to contribute offensively.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great to see. I don't know how much I mean, it looks like Tibbs is recognizing it, which I think is a good thing.
Looks like he's recognizing
the effectiveness of the defensive Deuce in place of Brunson at times. You know what I mean?
Well, he recognized it down as, I mean, Brunson.
He had 5 fouls, but you know what I mean? So I don't know. That's what I mean. I don't know when to be like, all right, credit Tibbs or not, because it becomes a situation.
He didn't bring Brunson back until like maybe 3 minutes left in the game.
Yeah, 2:58.
You know what I'm saying? And he could have brought him back earlier than that. But the
I agree. I agree.
The defense was doing what it needed to do. So, and he left him on the bench. As a matter of fact, I was like, leave him there. I'm not even going front. I was like, just leave him there.
But again, that's the same. That's the same thing we said game 3, right? Or game 2.
Mm-hmm.
Or was it game 1?
Game
one.
Game 1.
That's the same thing we said. We said game 1. You know what I mean? Like, yo, I was wondering if he was gonna do it, and you was thinking he should have did it. So it's like, again, I think it is him recognizing it, and saying, I gotta see how long I could hold it. You know what I mean? We already know he got the substitution on off at the end of the games when it matters, but credit to him, and obviously shout out to Cat, man.
Yeah, no
that's
doubt.
Fourth quarter of
we're definitely gonna get into all of that. Talk about some more of these adjustments. On the phone, we got Nick from Jersey on the phone. Nick, what's popping with you, brother? How you feeling?
Woohoo! What's up, fellas? How you doing tonight?
Good, man.
Peace, man.
You know what I'm saying? We got the much needed win to get the monkey off our back in this series.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, much needed.
Yeah. Tibbs kind of lost me the other night in the first 2 games. I thought not so much what he was. I don't want to harp on the negative. I thought he made a couple of bad calls, timeout management. I was really down on him. I was down on Towns, and they both came out and just. I mean, Tibbs in the biggest game of the year changes the starting lineup. Takes Payne out for Wright, expands the rotation to Shamet. And then does the opposite of what they did in game 1, and he rides with McBride over Brunson in the majority of the fourth quarter. I mean, this is the ultimate troll job of his career. You're saying, hey, I don't do adjustments. Here's 4 adjustments, and yet another 20-point comeback. And if the Knicks were in control of this game from the start, I would have felt like this was kind of like a gimme win. But the way they won it, another 20-point comeback. Winning this game in arguably Brunson's worst game of the season against the whistle all night. I feel like all the momentum is with the Knicks now, and we're due for a big Brunson game here in game 4, and I'm feeling very confident for Tuesday.
Yeah, we this is the type of score that we need this series to be, right? 106-100. You know,
Yeah.
I think we need it to be this type of basketball game. I do feel confident in the way that we won this game because, like you said, it wasn't just like this blowout or this desperation energy type of game. The Knicks were down 20, had to fight and claw their way back into the game. You know what I mean? Took the lead. Adjustments were made. It was an intentional win.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It
No
wasn't.
panic in the team. No
Yeah.
panic.
That was that's encouraging to see. You know what I mean? Now we got to get game 2 and come back to the Garden 2-2. All of a sudden, the series is very, very different.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Game 4 is every game is the biggest game of the season, but game 4 is, you don't want to go down 3-1. So if they get a 2-2, go back, make it 2 out of 3 with 2 home games. Oh yeah. The only negative that I'm looking at about this game, and then I'll get off the line for the other callers, is I felt like Mitchell Robinson was smoked starting the game. I thought we'd see a chew-in. If you're going to start Mitch and Towns, if you're going to go the big front court lineup, I thought you'd see a Chua getting some minutes to relieve them, but he went double small. We only had 2 centers for the whole game, and both of them were starting.
Yeah.
So there was no backup big.
Right.
And it just seemed like Mitchell Robinson, his normal impact that he's been doing all series, all playoffs, wasn't there. So if we could figure out a way to get that back in the game, combined with Brunson having a good game, will be good for the rest of the series.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, definitely. I've been calling all season long for Precious to start over Josh Hart because I just felt like that lineup would be better defensively, more switchability. You know what I mean? Better rebounding. Even though Josh Hart is a good rebounder, Precious is just taller. And bigger. And then that does allow for Mitchell Robinson to come off the bench as the backup center. You know what I mean?
Right.
And you can still use the double big with Mitch and Karl Anthony Towns. You can substitute Mitch for Precious. Right. You know what I'm saying? And you got the double big, and you can let Towns play the 4 while Mitch is playing the 5.
Right.
I think again, I didn't see it, so I could be totally wrong. But I think his impact throughout the playoffs is the reason to start him, because that's an automatic adjustment for the Pacers that to do immediately. And like we spoke about, last series or whatever, it mitigates the uses of that Hackimich situation. Earlier he's playing. But I didn't know. I was going to ask about Precious. I think he should be the backup, 5 if you're starting Mitch.
Yeah, he didn't. But he didn't play. I think you got to go with the lineup in game 4. You won using the lineup. I think you got to go with the lineup. Try to let it sit in, but you got to be careful because Rick Carlisle is like, okay,
adjustment time.
Now it's time for me to make an adjustment to this. You know what I'm saying? And so you've got to have a backup plan to that.
I think it's Achua. And the thing with Shamet getting minutes today, he played good, but I think he only got in the game because McBride was in foul trouble.
Yeah.
So I don't think Tibbs was planning on expanding the rotation to 9. I think he was just going to switch Payne for Wright to get some more defense.
Yeah.
But then Shamet got in there too because McBride was in foul trouble, and Shamet played well.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe they sit Shamet in game 4 and go with Achua to get Mitch a little bit more rest or something. We'll see. But
yeah,
it was 4 or 5 major adjustments to the team.
And that would be a reason if you're playing Shamet because of necessity, because of the foul trouble, you might have had Precious on your ahead of him, but it's like I ain't doing 5 adjustments. You know what I mean? They're gonna be like he grasping for straws now.
I know, even he's got his limits, but
yeah.
I think Achua could guard Siakam, and if you got Achua on Siakam, then you free up OG to go on Halliburton, and then you're freeing up Bridges to go on Nembhard, and then you're freeing up. It just trickles down. You know what I mean? You put a stronger defender on everybody else. Right now we're doing Bridges on Halliburton. If they want to keep that's fine. But I mean, if you really want to lock them down, you put OG on Halliburton. You know what I mean?
All right, no doubt. Yeah, I'm not even gonna lie. When we were down 20 in the first half, and we're playing Shamit and playing right, and in my brain I'm looking, say, wow, we're desperate right now.
I knew that was gonna be the narrative. That's what I felt the narrative was gonna be.
Mhm.
Until I spoke to Queen shit and she told me it was, the foul trouble with Deuce, and that's why
Right.
Shannon played. And I'm like, all right. But she didn't mention the Cam. I didn't know Cam replaced or was replaced by Wright. But
Yeah.
again, that's a taller defender,
Wright did
more
a good job.
poise. You know what I
Right.
mean? He's not gonna really make mistakes. He may not do nothing extra, but he ain't gonna make mistakes.
Right. Right.
He
And he
played
does it.
great. He kept us in the game. Towns was a beast. I mean, after game 2, I'm thinking about long term. Like, holy crap! Like, how can we? How could we win? We have Towns on the bench in the most important closing minutes of the most important game of the season because of his defense. Like, how can we go with this guy going forward into next year? Like, I was thinking, like, they're not going to be able to work with Towns and Brunson as a duo. And he just came out today, and this is the best performance of his time as a Knick.
Yeah.
He saved the season in the fourth quarter. He went absolute beast mode.
Berserk.
Nobody could guard that guy on Indiana. Nobody could guard Towns in the league. It's about getting him in the right position.
How about that Dan one? Oh, we gotta get to Cat. We gotta get to
His rebounding was great too. And Josh Hart also has been playing awfully, and now he comes off the bench this game, and he had about, I think he had 10 rebounds.
10 boards.
5 of these rebounds were just like game-saving rebounds, just flying out of nowhere over 5, over the whole Pacer team. It was just classic Josh Hart game. So I think they got something here, and let's win Tuesday.
Got to win Tuesday night, man. Appreciate it, Nick. Peace. Yeah. MRC 1987 said, we're coming back to the Garden 2-2. Enough said. Let's go Knicks. Without a doubt. We got to come back 2-2. We come back 2-2. Listen, we come back 2-2 to the Garden. we getting game 5.
We better.
So
better.
In my brain, either way it goes about it, we're getting game 5. I'm saying, but I feel like we're getting the next. I feel like we're winning Tuesday night.
Let's go.
I felt like we was winning tonight.
Yeah, the second half.
No, I mean, but you remember?
I know. I'm just
last show. I was like, we're winning. In the first half, I was like, damn,
bro. I didn't get to watch it, but when I looked at the score and I looked at the, like the last 2 minutes of the half, even though it looked like we were starting to fight at the end of the half, where I'm like, come on, bro, like, that's what we doing. That
was a monster. Where's Jordan Smith? I know Jordan was. I seen him here earlier. He said he was going to call in. Jordan, where we at, bro? I got the number up. Call in. You said you was going to call in. Come talk to us. The Knicks won. The Knicks won. Where's Jordan? You got to call in. You know what I'm saying? Come talk to us. Let's talk about Cat. Because Karl Anthony Towns, man, came up major.
Wait. We can't just erase the first 3 quarters where he was missing in action.
I mean, he was.
All right. I just have to, you know what I mean? Before we give him his flowers, because like the previous caller said, that was Nick, right?
Nick.
Nick from Jersey. He you know what I mean? Like, he was worried about the long-term future with Cat at some point. So but yeah, let's get into it.
I mean, but he came up major though in that fourth quarter. He decided, I'm going to the rack. They're gonna have to stop me. I'm going to the rack.
And I'm not doing floaters.
I'm going to use my strength to get to the rack and score. You know what I'm saying? And it was successful. He's got to continue to. Now, the one thing I would say, they were finding him the ball in space, near the top of the key, where he's able to go left or right, not where the baseline is defending him too.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So now he had more room to operate when he was going from the top of the key. You know what I mean? We're going to talk about Casamore. We got a call on the line. Call you live. Name me where you're from, please.
Yes, sir. What's going on, Sim? This is Jordan.
I knew it was Jordan. I knew it was Jordan. Man of his word. I like that. Man of his word.
Yeah, I had to show some respect to the Knicks fan, man. Y'all pulled it out tonight. Y'all deserved it.
Yeah, that was a tough one, man. I mean, when you look at it,
yeah,
it's basically the Pacers came back from down 17 in game 1 to win. The Knicks came down from 20 in game 3. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know,
it was a tough one, man. Naismith tweaked his ankle, felt like we lost momentum. You know, Hallie was taking a lot of bad shots out there.
Yeah. So how are y'all feeling right now, Pacers fans?
I mean, Pacers. I mean, it was a tough one. It was a tough one to take, but Pacers in 5 is still looking good. You know, Pacers in 5 is still looking good. I can't see y'all getting 2. I can't see y'all getting 2 at the crib. So.
I mean, we couldn't see y'all getting 2 at the crib either.
We sure couldn't. And I tell you this, my brother, Brunson still hasn't had a good game against y'all. So I mean he had the 40-point game. But that was just wait and see.
40-point game. He had a 30-point game. What's a good point? What's a good game to y'all, man?
He wasn't efficient. He wasn't efficient, especially 37. What he had 37 shot at 30 shot attempts.
I was shocked he was passing the ball tonight. Like Brunson is known for holding on to that ball, man.
Nah, he will.
Fair critique.
He will. That is definitely fair. I mean, Brunson, let me tell you what. Naismith is playing great defense on him. You know what I'm saying? He's making it really tough for Brunson to get inside and work inside because Naismith, he can use his feet and he's strong. So he's bumping. You know what I'm saying? And it's making it tough. So every time Brunson's making a move, starts to get a little edge, he bumps him back. So it's really making it tough for Brunson to get inside. You know what I mean?
Nembhard, he was making it difficult for him tonight too.
Yeah.
We just wasn't hitting those shots tonight. A lot of jump shots. I ain't like the shot selection we was taking. Pascal, we could have got him a little bit more involved.
Pascal wasn't that super Pascal like he was the other night.
Yeah,
you ain't getting that consistently in the series either. So they, you know what I mean? They got that one from him. You know what I mean? He might give you another half of that, but he ain't gonna give you another game like that.
He was Superman the other night, boy.
I got a question though, or a comment and a question. I thought coming into the series that Mathurin, or actually I thought coming into this year Mathurin would be like an X factor for you guys, but in this series in particular, he's kind of been non-existent. I didn't really watch in the playoffs. How has he been in the playoffs compared to this series? And do you think the reason he hasn't really fit in this series is because he's the one guy that wasn't a part of it last year, where everybody else had that experience of the run from last year?
Yeah, definitely. Because Mathurin was hurt last year, so he kind of regressed in the playoffs this year. He ain't been playing. He hasn't been as consistent, and we trying to work him back into the rotation. But Ben Shepherd, he's been second round pick. He's been a bright spot. We trying to get him more playing time, but Mathurin was a top 6 pick, so we trying to see what we can get from him, make a decision from him because his contract is coming up. But
y'all need to tell Ben Shepherd to do something with that mustache. Yeah.
I thought that was the Indiana mustache. That's not what they rock out there.
Yeah.
Nah, that's definitely his style. Man.
My bad.
Yo, that man, I'm like, yo, he look crazy with that mustache, man. Now he's
I could have sworn I seen a few of them in the crowd. Same mustache. Like,
yeah, he's nice though, but that mustache got to go. And who's the cowboy dude behind the bench? He's sitting sideline right behind Tibbs. Older dude, always got
right
a cap.
behind Tibbs.
He was sitting right behind Tibbs, cowboy hat on.
A fan,
white dude, a fan.
Okay, I had to see a picture for him. I was in and out on the game today. I was moving around.
Yeah, I think I seen him at a lot of Pacers games.
That's Indiana. That's Indiana Larry.
I'm with the coach. Yeah, it might be.
Yeah. Nah, Jordan, I appreciate you calling in, man.
A man of his word.
Just talking to y'all, man. Oh, yeah, definitely, man. I'll probably call back in, game.
Okay.
Yeah, win.
Yes, sir.
We'll call back in,
man. Definitely, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Good talking to y'all.
All right, peace, man.
That's peace.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. Man of his word. The brother called in, even though the Pacers lost. He called in. Listen, the series, man. So let's get back into Cat. Let's get back into talking about Cat. Cat he dominated that second half. Right, decided to go to the rack. Decided nobody was going to stop him. You know what I mean? He really displayed it. I mean, he had 20 points in the fourth quarter, 6 for 9 from the field, 3 for 4 from the 3-point line, 8 rebounds, 1 assist in the fourth quarter. He dominated that fourth quarter. We need Cat to do that every time he's out there on the floor. Yes. You know what I'm saying? They can't stop him really from going to the basket. When he decides to use his strength and become aggressive, there's nothing they can do with him.
And the funny thing is, again, I didn't see the first quarter or whatever, but Mitchell Robinson on the floor hinders that, right? A little bit. Like, you're not going to have that many opportunities where he could get to the lane because somebody's going to be down there with Mitch as able to help. But it's not like he's been taking advantage of that opportunity before Mitch was in the starting lineup. So I agree, though. He needs to be super aggressive. You know what I mean? He was shooting a very low amount of 3-point attempts for the whole playoffs and the season, for that matter. I think at some point that needed to pick up, but he let him fly tonight, and he was attacking the rim. Let's talk about that N1 though. That's play of the night.
Which one we talking about?
N1 dunk. I think.
N1. Yeah. I mean,
was it that fourth?
He can't have 5 fouls.
Yeah, playing with 5 fouls too.
Playing with 5 fouls, but still being aggressive. You know what I'm saying? We got to figure out how to bottle up what we did in that second half. As far as defensively, going hard to the rack with Cat. We got to bottle it up and play this game again on Tuesday.
But it's so much that we have to bottle up. And that's been one of the problems with this team. As much as, as clutch as Brunson has been, it takes a toll having to do that night in, night out, right? And so the other thing, like Mikal's game, Mikal had that fourth quarter game, right? In the Celtics series. That needs to be bottled up as well. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. The OG game, I forgot what series that was. That might have been Detroit, but whatever it was, 29 points. That needs to be bottled up. Like we need to figure out how to utilize all of those things and collectively, like not you know what I mean, like not for bailouts. I mean, shout out is good for the individual to boost the morale, especially where Cat was like playing bad in this
Also
series.
tonight, we didn't allow them to utilize the mismatches they wanted. Right? So if they did a switch and ended up with Cat on Halliburton, the Knicks would figure out how to get Mikal Bridges back to Halliburton so Cat can get back to his guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So they weren't just sticking with the switch.
And communicating it. Like, that was the main way to do it. I mean, you could see it.
Right. They weren't just sticking with the switch. They were, all right, you know, we'll hedge it, and then, but you got to get back to your guy.
Yeah.
And then the helper, you know, while Cat's getting back to his guy, someone's helping to make sure that, you know, whoever it is doesn't get an open three. You know what I'm saying? So that really, I think that changed a lot because the first two games, well, especially, you know, game one is so weird, but especially game two, we were allowing them to switch onto the matchup that they wanted and then take advantage of that matchup. You know what I'm saying? Tonight, we didn't allow them to do that. All right. Crazy and Insane TV said the recipe is already bottled up. Knicks go down by 20 on the road is a win every time. You know what's crazy? Every time we've been down by 20 in these playoffs against Boston, against Indiana, we've come back to win. If we go down by 21 or 22, we don't come back.
Or 14. Well, we did 14.
Right, we did come back. Right, we did 14.
Yeah, you did 14.
But it got to 20, and in my brain, I said, please, don't let it go over 20. Because I don't think we definitely ain't coming back. You know, it got to 20, we came back. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to play with that fire. Keep trying to come back.
Bro.
The thing that we can take away from this is we've had a lead in every single game against the Pacers. We've had a lead in every single game. You know, we just have to figure out how to sustain that lead against this team.
Sure.
You know, Curtis D said the Knicks made quicker switches on fresher legs and limited the Pacers' 3-point scoring. You know, we'll see if they're going to use Shamet, but I think Wright is definitely going to be in the lineup. You know,
I
like legs. You know, but he's definitely going to be in the lineup.
I don't know how much he gives you offensively, but
he can hit the three.
The fact that he's not going to make mistakes and he's going to kind of get the ball moving, circulating. He ain't going to hold the ball. You know what I mean? Like, it's a good guy to utilize.
Also, he's 6'5".
Yeah, and his size.
So he can help defend
those
guys. Right. He can switch and help defend those guys because he's 6'5". You know what I mean? Yeah. Silk. We got Silk Sutton on the line. Silk, what's poppin' with you, bro?
What up, Tim? What up, Tony? I know I've been MIA for a minute because after that first game, man, I was in depression mode. I ain't gonna lie. But this is the lineup for the bench I think we need against this team. We need DeLon Wright because he has this size, and we need Shamet because you see, as soon as Shamet hit that 1-3, Indiana coach said timeout. He called a quick timeout as soon as Shamet hit the three because he can't just crowd the paint, which Shamet did. He may be streaky, he may not always be hitting it, but you got to respect that. And he's got a big enough size that, because to me, Cam is not a penetrating point guard that gives you assists. He's a hit open three and drive to the paint sometimes and get a little layup. That's what Cam is. So if that's what Cam is, why don't we get these big guards that could do the same thing, who could play a little bit of D? So I don't want to see Cam no more.
We won't.
Because Cam could do just as much as Sham could do. Cam could bring up the ball. Sham could bring up the ball like Cam can. Cam can hit the open three like Cam can. And occasionally, Cam can drive to the lane like Cam does. Cam is not no penetrating assist guy. But he getting beat on D.
I think that maybe the idea behind Cam is that he's one player that could maybe match the Pacers' speed and be able to get up and down the floor, score in transition. He's a decent defender, but be able to score in transition. And I think in the first game, he actually helped in that regard. He was able to get up and down the floor and put a little bit of pressure on him. But then in game 2, obviously, he was just all over the place. And that's the thing about Cam. He'll get all over the place and start doing crazy stuff.
That's what I want him. I don't want him running up on the floor. That's what Indiana wants. Slow it down.
Nah, I feel you.
Slow it down. Don't be running up and down and you do turnovers and they can grab the ball and run it back the other way. That's what they want. Slow it down. As you see, we slowed it down today. There was no 115, 135 game. Slow it down.
Let me tell you what.
Keep it close.
This game, this win switches the pressure back to Indiana Pacers now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
They can't lose Monday. I mean Tuesday.
Right.
Playing.
The pressure is now back to them. Because now it's like, okay, we won home court. We took home court. Now, if we lose game 4, we give it back and we go back to Madison Square Garden with it. They'll feel confident that they can win in the Garden because they won 2, but they'll know if we lose in the Garden, now it's 3-2. You know what I'm saying? Now this pressure is switching back to Indiana.
Let me ask y'all guys a question. You're going back to double big to start the game off to slow them down?
You got to. You won using this lineup. You don't change it.
Remember, an adjustment is a substitution away.
Exactly. You got to go back to it.
Even though they didn't go back to the double big a lot the rest of the game.
But they started the second half with it.
They started to slow down Pascal Siakam. Because I don't think Pascal Siakam against Mitch can just bump and shoot over him like he could do against Hart.
Yeah. But they started the second half with it. So in my opinion, you start with it, but you have a backup plan. Because they're going to make some adjustments.
Because then the coach is telling him, "We don't 2 guys out there. Just run the ball. Just run the ball. Get the rebound and run the ball. They can't catch up with you."
Right.
So that's why Tibbs stayed away from that after Hart came back. He's all right. We got them slow down a little bit, but then that second quarter we had trouble hitting shots because, like you said, Sam, that's right. DeLon Wright and Shammond, they ain't been in there since the regular season. So the whole team had to get used to them being in there and playing with them.
Yeah.
But it was funny how as soon as Shammond hit that 1-3, coach said, "All right, timeout."
Yeah. Nah.
But we'll see.
We'll see. So,
because Tim, I'm being lying. I saw a meme and I was almost for it with Cat and his face saying, "I don't want to go to Milwaukee," because he was pissing me off. I like 4 points in the first half. Yo, this is the game we need, and our second All-Star only got 4 points in the first half. I was like, man, I don't want to. I ain't trying to gut our team for Giannis, but Cat's pissing me off, man.
Yeah, but he came up big. He came up big, and I feel like maybe he understands what he has to do because he did it the entire fourth quarter.
He makes me nervous because he don't do this every game.
He'll
do one game like this, and then he'll be ghost the second game.
I know, but I feel like this fourth quarter, he figured out they can't stop me from going to the basket, and I'm gonna use my strength. I feel like he did.
I want to be in the post more though. He be sitting out there at the 3-point line too much.
I know, but he did a lot of penetrating from the top of the key, and just decided I'm going to the basket, and they're gonna have to foul me to stop me.
But he could do that against Miles, but he don't do that well against Pascal that way. Against Pascal, I need him in the post. If Pascal's going to guard you, get in the post and bang your big body against Pascal.
I agree with you. I would like for him to be there. The only problem is, seems like we'll see. But the first 2 games, it felt like, he would allow Pascal to push him around. Hopefully, that's changed now. Maybe he has a different mindset. But still,
because he can't beat Pascal off the dribble like he could beat Miles.
Exactly.
Miles
he can't beat Pascal off the dribble, right? And that's part of the reason why he would end up shooting that crazy floater. Because you can't beat him off the dribble.
Yeah, I was
Mr.
Fadeaway with him, but he pissed me off. Like a lot.
Yeah, no doubt. Silk, I appreciate it, man.
I'm done.
All right.
Hopefully, let's take this next one, brother, and make it a series.
Let's do it.
2-2, and whatever happens, happens.
Let's go. All right.
Yep.
Peace.
All right.
Sean said, get this out of the way, said Shamet and Wright are the type of role players that would play great at home. Game 5 is going to be wild once the Knicks tie this series up. And, listen, he used Wright. Was he going to use Shamet? We don't know, but he used DeLon Wright. He went deeper into his bench. And in the second half, it helped the Knicks. In the first half, maybe there was some confusion because the lineup, it was new players in the lineup. You got to figure some things out. You know what I mean? In the second half, seems like they understood it a little bit better. And that bench definitely helped. I mean, as a matter of fact, that bench with Karl Anthony Towns is what really got the Knicks to lead, to be honest with you. Right? Right? I think in the second half, it was Cat, it was Deuce, Shamet, Wright. Maybe it was Josh Hart out there with him. I don't know.
Josh Hart was out there.
Well, Josh Hart came off the bench, so that lineup brought the Knicks back. So yeah, you know what I mean. I feel like my player of the game. Who's your player? My player of the game is Cat, without a doubt. Who's your player of the game?
Yeah, unequivocally. I mean, that fourth quarter was something for the ages.
Yeah.
And it's great because it's not like he was having a good game. So it's not like he just continued the momentum of the game.
Yeah.
He you know what I mean? A lot of times when he's playing the way he played the first 3 quarters, he might disappear in the fourth.
Yeah. Let me tell you a word that I used in the last stream with Cat. He was intentional about going to get his buckets.
That's a fact.
He was intentional. He decided this is how I'm getting my buckets.
All the way to the rim. Not you know what I mean? Not avoiding the contact, not avoiding the shot.
Right. He said, this is how I'm getting my buckets. And they're not stopping me. He was intentional. You know what I mean? Loved it. Game 4, Rick Carlisle's going to make some adjustments, but I feel like this got the monkey off the Knicks' back.
And it's encouraging, the most part for me, just because the way we won it without Brunson really impacting that win, like stamping that win. You know what I mean? I feel like defense won it tonight. And then Cat filled in. But Deuce, the bench, obviously, Deuce played a huge part. But I think defense won it tonight. I mean, obviously, 100 points for them.
Yeah, I think the Knicks figured something out. I think, getting the monkey off their bench, it's almost like, you got water in a glass, and there's a little crack in the glass, and a little bit of water seeps through, and next thing you know, the entire glass bursts open, and all the water starts flooding out. That's what I feel like just happened, Jordan. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. We just had a nice, beautiful conversation. A nice, friendly conversation.
Now,
why you want to talk spicy?
Now you want the referees, Scott Foster, to say, okay.
Like, that was a great call. And now you want to talk spicy, man. There's something about that keyboard, man. It's like,
yeah. Look at that. Now, Scott Foster. Okay.
But I mean, I thought we got a lot of bad calls today. I think both challenges should have went our way. Your last challenge and your challenge that was successful and our challenge that was unsuccessful. I thought both those calls were wrong.
Definitely an offensive foul.
Yeah, the Brunson one.
Yeah, the Brunson one.
That's the one we challenged, right?
Yeah.
And then their successful challenge I thought was the wrong call as well.
Yeah. So, anyway, Tony, I'm gonna get up out of here because I gotta get up early. But I'm glad we was able to get one in. I'm happy we got the win tonight. Looking forward to Game 4 on Tuesday night. I can't wait for it.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I mean,
2-2.
I hope I could be done with work like as early as I was today. It was record time, so
coming back to the Garden 2-2.
I'll at least see the fourth quarter for sure.
Coming back to the Garden 2-2. Jordan, make sure you got your minutes on your phone, all of that phone bill paid, because we want to hear from you again. Because we coming back to the Garden 2-2. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate your time. Rest easy. Have a great day off tomorrow. Maybe we'll see you on the Lucid Lounge tomorrow morning. We're gonna figure that out. But folks, we're out of here. Peace.
This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place to tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.